Welcome. You didn't think I was going to do it, did you? Well, guess what? I didn't think I was going to do it either. Oh, if you hear music in the background, that's my neighbors. They're playing some music right now. This is Sunday, and they have the right to party if they want. But NxT WarGames 2021. I'm going to make this clear. One word covers this for me. Anyone else, they may think this is a great show. They loved it, and more power to you. But I haven't watched the product much. And after what Vince has been doing for over a year and a half, I didn't care. So, empty. I'll explain in this review. I don't even know how long this is going to be. This could only take 5 minutes, or this can take 30. I don't know, but I'm going to make this, and there ain't no image, ain't nothing. This, you're getting it raw, baby. You're getting it raw. Sorry if it was loud. But, opening was the women's, and this is the only women's match on the show. The women's War Games. And what did I just watch? That match sucked. Seriously. And I think for me personally, the dynamic was off, mainly due to the fact for both War Games, and I could be wrong, maybe I'm forgetting. Maybe I'm not remembering properly. But wasn't it 5-on-5? 5 men versus 5 men, 5 women versus 5 women. Now they made it 4-on-4. The dynamic fell off for me personally, unless I'm remembering wrong, and they've always had a 4-on-4. As far as I remember, it's 5-on-5 every time they've done War Games every year. So in this situation, it fell off, having only 4 women against 4 women. And then what was that when it came to Cora Ray? What was that? She jumps off the top of the cage, lands on her left shoulder. She acts like it got popped out of place. You get Io Shirai trying to pop it back into place. And they make it all about her cowering in a corner through most of it until she decides, because her left shoulder was messed up, she's like this, and she decides to take a kendo stick, whack a couple of people. The others basically lay out, I believe, a Brandy Rose, who you would think as the head of Toxic Attraction, that Vince would be more up for her, unless I'm wrong, and I'm not remembering if it was Brandy Rose who did the pin, who got pinned by Corey Ray. I don't remember. I don't think she was. No. I don't think she was the one that got pinned. It was somebody else. But clearly, you let Cora Ray, get the pin, acting like she can't use her arm like this when it was all said and done, and they're walking to the back. She's all smiling, holding her arm, happy, clapping. She's going, yeah, this is it. But what the fuck was that? Through most of the night, other than maybe one match, there was no boring. I repeat that again, unless I'm wrong. For most of the entire night, there was only one match no one said boring to. Now, mind you, the crowd was there, and they were trying to hijack the show to a certain extent. But let's be honest, they were right in certain cases. The show was boring because it felt empty. I don't know what the hell that was. Now, the match that I felt was the best match of the night, for me personally, Imperium versus Carl O'Reilly and Von Wagner. Taking away from the ending, which looked kind of stupid, that Von Wagner tries to take the head off of O'Reilly, it was a good damn match. The crowd was very into it. They love Imperium. They were very questionable about Von Wagner, and they love Carl O'Reilly. I believe his name is Carl O'Reilly. As you see, I don't watch the show much at all. So I don't remember the people's names much anymore. I'm almost blanked. I do remember a little bit. That was the best match of the night for me personally. Imperium is the best team I have seen come out of WWE in years. In years. The only other team that came close to them that was real good was the Usos. But at this moment, I don't see the Usos doing shit. Easily. The Usos and them could be up par on par. But is what you get. They won their match, which I wasn't surprised. Imperium doesn't feel like they're going to lose unless Vince really wants to get rid of everyone from UK NXT and then make this all about all the new people that he's trying to get ready before they get rid of everybody else. Because remember, he's still firing people soon. Next month or this month, more people are going. We already heard the rumors, and I wouldn't be surprised if we hear another 5 or 8 people going to be gone, particularly after WarGames. You never know. Cameron Grimes versus Duke Hudson. Hair versus hair. Now, I do remember JD talking about this. Talking about Hudson dealing with Cameron Grimes. And also the rumors how Cameron Grimes was going to get his hair cut, which he did. Now, in this situation, the way it felt forced. Honestly. It's good to see that Cameron Grimes won because we really thought that Cameron Grimes was going to get the hose by Vince. But then he kind of still did get the hosing by Vince because he made him feel kind of boring. Cameron Grimes, as a guy who won got great amount of money. He felt important with Ted DiBiase. Now feels generic. He doesn't feel like the Cameron Grimes who is a rich man who originally came from Swallow. He just doesn't feel like he's important. And yes, he won his match, but he still felt empty. And yes, he shaved a little bit of Hudson's hair. Not all of it, just parts of the front. But still, he doesn't feel like a person that I care about. Because when he was working with Ted DiBiase, as well as LA Knight, he felt substantial. He felt important. And then when he won his money before that, he felt substantial. He felt important. But now he doesn't feel like anything. Then you got the Diamond Mines Robert Strom, who faces off against a Joe, what is the guy's name again? Grayson? Or Grayson, whatever. When I looked at this, and I've heard about this, I look at Diamond Mine, who's got some good wrestlers on it, and good characters. What am I looking at? Yes, they got a great mouthpiece, but they kind of felt not very substantial. Like something's missing. Some ingredient is missing. When you saw them outside, yeah, they were acting like, hey, they're worrying about Strom. They don't want Joe to win. But then you feel like the lightning in the bottle is not there. Something feels missing. I don't know what's missing. Maybe it's due to the fact I don't watch the product and see how well they've been working, even with the changes in 2.0. Maybe that's truly what the problem is for me personally. It's not because I think Vince is a piece of shit and he changed NXT. I wasn't watching NXT for years anyway. Very rarely I looked at it, even though Triple H was still in control of it because of what was going on with the main roster. I want to make that clear. When it came to NXT, the reason I stopped watching was because every time when someone came up to the main roster, they got destroyed by Vince. So I got tuned out ahead of time. I have no bias to anyone in NXT, not because they didn't do great work, like Keith Lee or Karrion Kross, but it just felt like in this situation, something's missing. Even when I hadn't seen it for years, you can feel the passion of it. It's like there's no passion there. They're just going through the motions. For me, they wrestled well. The match was structured pretty well for the Cruiserweight title. That is not the NXT Cruiserweight title. But it just felt like there's something missing. Some ingredients missing. I don't know what it is. Now, the final match of the night. 2.0 versus Black and Gold. The WarGames for the men. Now, the person who shined the most in that match looked like LA Knight. He looked great. And at one point, I thought he was going to be used as the pin. I thought he was going to get pinned there. But they decided they want Braun Breaker to nail Ciampa and then pin his ass. Now, mind you, I'm going to tell you the truth. out of all this, I was totally sure Vince was not going to let them lose. This is to be very clear. Very clear, ladies and gentlemen. Vince wants to eradicate what the older version of the developmental used to be. There is no lying about this. Anyone who's a NXT fan of the new version now, I'm just telling you right now, I have no stake in NXT, the older version or the newer version. I don't care. I got tuned out years ago by what happened on the main roster, not the quality of the show itself. I always felt NXT had good quality. Now, from what I've seen a couple of times on 2.0, at least at one point, it seemed to be somewhat alright, because you still had the same people there, but they were just packaged differently or being presented differently in a different venue, a different constructed venue. But at this point, this pay-per-view felt empty. The matches were not the issue here. Yes, the first match, the women's match, really sucked. But the majority of the other matches seemed to be fine. But even with the women sucking, it was like there was something missing with them. And the rest of the show felt like that, other than Imperium versus Carl O'Reilly and Von Wagner, which the crowd was into, and they didn't do the little hijacking of boring. Honestly. I don't know what else to say to you guys. This just felt like there was something just off. I don't care. Not because I hate WWE. They piss me off, yeah. But you guys who know me, I'm going to give a fair review. I just did my, my NWA review of Hard Times 2. And I wish to say thank you to whoever saw it. I think it's almost near 500 views. Oh my gosh. What the fuck? I didn't expect to get nearly 500 views on that video. I thought maybe get 10 or 20. And I checked to see if there was anybody else doing review of Hard Times 2. There was just me and one other guy who I checked to see how long he'd been on YouTube. He was a couple of months ahead of me. He started in 2012 around the same time as me. I started in July. He started in March, even though I had the channel since 2007 and did nothing with it until 2012. So he's the only other person, other than some people was doing highlights or they did like video game animation to talk about Hard Times 2 videos, was the only ones that did it. So thank you. Thank you for literally looking at my video that I didn't think I'd get more than 10 people looking at it. And probably when I upload this video, after I do a little bit of editing to bring up the sound, it might be at 500. I'll be shocked if it hits 500. But this is just me, and I hope this makes any sense. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.